रमन्ते तत्र देवता। भारत भूमि में नारी शक्ति सदैव से ही सम्मानित एवं पूज्य रही है। तभी तो गायन्ति देवाः किल गीतकानि धन्यास्तुते भारत भूमि भागः स्वर्गा पवर्गा पदहेतु भूतैः भवन्तु भूयः पुरुषः स्मृत्वा। The gods also love to take birth in India. So आज के वेमन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डे पर एक बार पुनः नारी शक्ति को उद्यमिता की नई ऊंचाइयों पर प्रेरित करने का समय आ गया है। आप सभी को वेमेन्स एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डे की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। हमारे छत्रपति साहू जी महाराज विश्वविद्यालय से नवाचार समिति की समन्वयिका डॉक्टर शिल्पा देशपांडे जी से आग्रह करता हूं कि आज के इस कार्यक्रम का औपचारिक स्वागत संदेश प्रस्तुत करने की कृपा करें। डॉक्टर शिल्पा कायस्था जी।
सभी को नमस्कार। On behalf of the Innovation Cell at Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University and a Section 8 company promoted by the University, Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj Innovation Foundation, I extend a very warm and heartfelt good afternoon to all on the occasion of Women Entrepreneurship Day. It is indeed my privilege to welcome all of you to this webinar, particularly our chief guest for this program, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Gautam Buddha University, Professor Ravindra Kumar Sinha, Honorable ex-Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh Agriculture University, Palampur, Professor Ashok Saryal, ex-Director, Motilal Nehru, National Institute of Technology, Professor Rajiv Tripathi ji, Shri Balram Narula ji, Managing Director, Jet Netwares, and also Director of CSJMIF, Dr. Anil Kumar Yadav ji, Registrar, CSJMU, Director, CSJMIF, all the Deans and Directors of Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University, our keynote speakers for the event, Mrs. Padmaja Ruparal, Senior Managing Partner, Indian Angels Investor Network. Welcome, ma'am. I'd also like to welcome Dr. Leena Bavdekar, Ayurved Consultant. Welcome to Gauri Sareen, Founder, Bhumija and Living Without Medicine. A warm welcome to Dr. Saumini Sunkara, Founder and MD, Agrighar Services Private Limited. A warm welcome to all the respected dignitaries, all the professors and faculties who have joined us from various universities across the country, startups who have joined us, all the participating students. A warm welcome to our Innovation Cell team, and also to all the members of the CSJMIF, our CEO, Ravindra Dubey ji, Utkarsh Bisaria ji, and Anil Kumar Tripathi ji, for putting together this wonderful seminar, felicitating all the women entrepreneurs on a very special day that has been, of course, called the Women Entrepreneurs Day. This particular webinar, of course, has been held to felicitate all the women entrepreneurs who are together driving economic growth, and more than ever, shining as beacons for hope for all those creative and innovative women, that desire economic importance, economic independence, and also wish to contribute, to creating job opportunities for like-minded individuals. And this will hopefully, and has always been over centuries, leading to holistic development, not only of them or us women as individuals, but also contributing to our family, to the society, to the cities we live in, to our nation, and of course, the world at large. So without much ado, welcoming all of you and looking forward to hearing from very eminent panelists that we have together today on this webinar. I would request Dr. Dubey to kindly take the program forward. Thank you and welcome you all.
Thank you, Dr. Shilpa ji. A little insight on today's occasion. Women's Entrepreneurship Day is celebrated on 19th November. It is observed to acknowledge, support, and celebrate the invaluable contribution of women business leaders and entrepreneurs to the society. Women have had a long history of being entrepreneurs. From running home-based business to scaling large teams, they have been breaking glass ceilings along the way. Successful women entrepreneurs like Indra Nui, Falguni Nair, Vandana Luthra, Leena Tiwari, Kiran Majumdar, and many more are inspiring others to venture on the path of entrepreneurship through their success stories. Today's women are thriving in startups, branching out on their own as independent consultants or freelancers. More and more women are venturing into business and creating their own success stories across the nation. Women Entrepreneurship Day was the brainchild of an organization called Women's Entrepreneurship Day Organization. It was due to their continuous effort that UN declared 19th November as Women's Entrepreneurship Day in 2014. Over the last decade, the world has witnessed the emergence and growth of women-owned business globally, making up 38% of all small businesses. One of the women entrepreneurs said that her journey was like a roller coaster ride. She felt that one of the biggest challenges faced as a woman entrepreneur was a patriarchal mindset or the elements of misogyny embedded deep into the psyche of the society. It's all about trusting your guts and believing your dream to take them through. However, the society is fast evolving, and so are our women entrepreneurs. The women are no strangers to entrepreneurship now and are well aware of the challenges and the difficulties. They have been breaking social barriers, aspiring people, and leading the way for themselves in the industry. Even though many women have managed to write success stories, there are still challenges as investors and the public believe that men were more suited for leading roles. However, the scenario is changing very rapidly. The Modi government has also launched dozens of schemes that are aimed at empowering women. The country has witnessed consistent rise in the number of female entrepreneurs making inroads and running lucrative enterprises such as SlideShare, Cisco, Flickr, Nika, The Body Shop, etc., etc. It's important that society at large should encourage female entrepreneurs. It has many positive reasons apart from reducing the gender gap. Some women entrepreneurs affirm that women are best at multitasking, creativity, money management, negotiation skills, honesty, resilience, compassion, and taking everyone along. These are exactly the skills required to be a successful entrepreneur. So they need to be congratulated to have broken the age-old shackles and preconceived notions, rules, barriers, and paved the way for other women to come to the forefront and lead the charge. According to the National Sample Survey, women entrepreneurs account for only 14% of all enterprises in India. So there is still a long way to go. I leave it to the wise ladies on the floor of the house today to pave the way for the youngsters who are eagerly waiting to listen to their mantras. Over to Ruparel, Padmaji Ruparel ji.
Thank you, Mr. Dubey. First of all, thank you for inviting me to Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj Innovation Foundation program. Before I say anything, I just want to congratulate you for having picked up the baton on women entrepreneurship and put this program together. It truly is something which we as women do value, not because we think you're doing us a favor, but I think purely because we are 50% of this nation. And I think that's very, very important from a very different perspective. Today, it's very, very key for us around the world, and this is not only India, that we understand that 50% of the country's, any country's GDP can actually be built by 50% of its citizens, which are women, right? So if we don't empower women, to get into the economic cycles of the country, we are actually straight away halving our GDP growth. That's the power of bringing both the genders, not necessarily only women, but both the genders into economic life. It's very critical. So I think, the topic of the day, which you've sort of shared with me, is women entrepreneurship, the challenges and the road ahead. I think the first thing is to really look at the opportunity for the country, that engaging women, empowering women, enabling women to become entrepreneurs. I think that's critical for a country's GDP and economy. So that's point number one, why women entrepreneurship is so important. The second thing that I'd like to share, I am a startup investor, I confess I am. But for me, it is not only about investing in startups, right? For me, it is important that there are entrepreneurs out there, women or men, who are building businesses and contributing to the economy of the country. And many women are actually doing some really good work and building strong businesses, which are not only running their households, but households of many other people who are working with them. And these are not necessarily investable from a startup perspective, from a VC perspective, investable businesses. But in no way, and not even for a single moment, do I think that those are not good businesses to do. In fact, those are extremely important and almost provide the backbone of the MSME, SME industry in the country. So I think women entrepreneurship for us, especially because you've invited me as a speaker, as a startup investor, I think goes much beyond investing in enterprises, more by saying that founding enterprises is more critical, and running businesses which are driving revenues, which are driving profits, which are driving jobs, which are driving many households and families, their livelihoods, is probably more important. So I think it's a wider angle that I would like to sort of present to you. You are right. If I look at it purely from the startup ecosystem, only 14-15% of the women entrepreneurs, 14-15% of the entrepreneurs are women entrepreneurs. You're right. Those are the ones that have raised money. It's unfortunate. At IAN, we are in fact trying to change that. We have 30% of our portfolio, which is women entrepreneurs in whom we have invested. And perhaps this comes from a very different lens, which when you look back is not something that you thought you were doing, but it just so happened. I think the organization being led by a woman surely does make a difference, because it brings in entrepreneurs irrespective of gender, but there is an unconscious bias towards bringing in women entrepreneurs. The second thing, which is very important when you look at women entrepreneurs, that women traditionally are the higher spenders of money in families, especially for necessities, for needs, right? I mean, all of us, most of us run homes, most of us run families. We are the purchasers of different products, different services, right? So we understand, and whether it's women or men, whoever runs the household, whoever runs the family, whoever sort of takes care of children and seniors, we understand the needs and problems that exist in that running our normal lives, running our regular lives. And when you understand the needs and problems is when you start thinking of innovation, right? So some of the best innovation comes out of literally on-ground problems or on-ground needs. And hence, we need to ensure in some ways that we understand why women who are running households, who are running families, are so critical in developing innovation and developing products which cater to really on-ground problems that we are seeing. This has in its own right created a different class of opportunities, not only in consumer goods, not only in education, healthcare, etc., but it has also created opportunities for what we call femtech products, technology products D2C products, tech-enabled products, which are catering to the female population. And these are specifically focused on female population because the problems of the women, driven by their bodies, by their physiology, their psychology, etc., demands such new products. I think to a great extent, again, not only in India, but I've seen this across the world, women's needs are not primary. They're secondary, or in some societies, even tertiary. And therefore, innovation to cater to these women-specific problems becomes important. And who better than a woman entrepreneur to empathize and create these products? So half the population's healthcare is driven by, is a driving need, right? We cannot have unhealthy women producing children. We have to have healthy women producing children. So I think even for the health of the country, this is something which is imperative. So I think I've sort of focused quite a bit on why women entrepreneurs, but I wanted to sort of share where are we when we are building companies, when we are building businesses, what are our real challenges? Let me share some thoughts with you. We have a number of entrepreneurs who present to us, number of them. We started by getting most of the entrepreneurs coming in from the tier 1 cities, when we started investing, because that's how entrepreneurship was being built. Most of them were people who had done either science, technology, or management as their academic backgrounds. Most of them had worked in some MNCs, some corporate, and they had come out of their job life and started a venture, which meant that these were women, right, who did think they were equal to men, if I may use that. I hate doing this comparison, but there's no better way to do it on an online mechanism, on an online platform. But they did not think themselves junior or different in any way than the other gender. But guess what? We had investors in the room, which were high quality to my mind, and I'm immodestly saying that. I saw them look at, talk to, and sort of grill the entrepreneurs neck upwards, disregarded neck downwards. But we realized that was not the norm, right? So while we invested in a number of entrepreneurs who were building companies, and we started to build them, mentor them, but these were all tier 1 entrepreneurs. Today, entrepreneurship is not relegated to tier 1. It's gone into what I call Bharat. Okay. And as you go deeper into Bharat, there is an exposure to markets. There's an exposure to what people can do. Startups have become a career option, first career option for that matter. But certain societal changes have not happened, to be honest. Right? So the very woman who was able to think differently, build differently, focus on execution, build businesses, when they presented, they could not make it. Here are some of the reasons that I think impeded them. Number 1, confidence, lack of self-confidence. Company after company, presentation after presentation, we saw this. And it is not only women entrepreneurs. I'm part of a group. I'm a mentor in a group called Women in Private Equity. We are mentoring young ladies who are joining the private equity industry, to invest in diligence companies and sort of take those forward. Believe me, I see that lack of self-confidence even there. So to a great extent, when you are talking about self, your biggest enemy, our biggest enemy, is ourselves. That's the first thing that we need to recognize. There is nothing that we need men to tell us to do. It is we who need to tell ourselves to do something differently. Think about ourselves as someone who can do it and have the confidence and conviction in what we're doing. I think that's the biggest enemy for ourselves. I'm sorry, I have a bad throat. Number 2, I think, which is a big issue that we found, is women are relegated for some odd reason, right? They feel that we should be talking about sales, we should be talking about marketing, we should be talking about product. We leave out finance and accounts. We think it is the man's job to do it. The point is, that's not correct, actually, right? For two reasons. Number one, most women that I've seen, they make a much better business plan in terms of numbers because they are used to it. They are used to budgeting. They are used to cash flows. How do you think the homes run if we didn't have that? Number two, break up finance and accounts as two different topics. Accounts is, yes, debit, credit, transactions, income tax. Let's leave that. Everybody can do it, and none of the entrepreneurs need to do it in that sense, right? They can get someone to do it. But finance, presenting your investment plans, cash flows, is not just numbers. It is a reflection of your business and operations. So my belief is that women entrepreneurs need to look at finance and present their business, present their operations, because only then will you or I, as an entrepreneur, be able to convince an investor why our business is doing what it's doing and why we need to raise money, and most importantly, why we will give you returns. So again, we have to break the mindset that finance and accounts is somebody else's job. No, it's our job. If we are the founder, it's very much our job. And there is absolutely zero return. There's absolutely zero reason why it should be somebody else's job, right? The third one is actually a very difficult one, and I'll tell you why. When from most of us, at least from the background that I come, I own my assets. Owning assets does not mean that there are assets in my name, that there is a bank account in my name and there is cash in it, etc. Or I have real estate in my name, or I have fixed deposits in my name. That's not owning assets mean. For me, owning assets mean where I have a right to do what I want to do with that money, then I own it or that asset. Can I put it on mortgage to raise a loan? Can I sell it because I think I need it for whatever be the reason? In tier one, at least from people of a certain economic and education background, I think that ownership has seeped in and is seeping in even more. But in many pockets of Bharat, there's the true ownership of financial assets does not exist. It will be in the woman's name, but there will be a need for a husband, a father, a brother, or son, or whatever, to actually agree to it. That yes, you can put this together. I have been to meetings with my entrepreneurs where banks have agreed to give a loan, right? And when the papers are getting signed, husband ko bula lijiye. Correct? So I think we need to be very clear that as we grow businesses, we have to also grow the respect and confidence in our family that we know what we're doing and we know what we will need and we will do the best that we can and build that confidence so that we don't need them to come to the bank when we are mortgaging our own assets. We need them if they are mortgaging their assets, of course, right? So I think that ownership needs to be defined better, right? The fourth thing I think, which is very, very important, is as we build companies and they grow, we have a very powerful, innate sense of values. We are mothers. We bear children. And any mother who bears children will want the best value systems inculcated in the child, correct? There's no mother that I would have that would say, I want to build a child, I want to nurture a child which is not a good human being with not good values. And if you start building good values for your child, that sort of is your DNA. right? And you almost mother your business, right? You will build businesses. You'll find more companies which default on things whose corporate governance is weak are not necessarily women-led. The percentage will be very different. So I think we have an innate power which we are underutilizing to build corporate governance, to build value systems within the company, to build empathy within our team and our customers, and actually provide what I call the soft but strong sixth value system that you bring to companies. And I think that's very, very important. In our organization, we have 205 companies in our portfolio. 75 companies have women directors. We've brought in independent, we've brought in outside directors, but out of our companies, 75 women directors are engaged with us. So I think we underestimate ourselves. And the last, which is probably the most important after self-confidence, is communication. I think the way we communicate with our investors, with our peers, with industry, in the external world, we shy away. How many of us have walked into a conference with, let's say, 75, 100, 200 people in the room? How many of us have confidently gone in our first few years and shook hands with every man in the room? It's not because we hesitate to shake hands with a man. It's just our innate sense of, should I go or should I not go? We shy away. We don't have the cigarette in our hand to say, okay, this is a great conversation breaker or a starter. So this is something I think we need to learn as women, because networking, meeting with industry, meeting with investors, meeting with customers, this is not going to be always planned. You don't know who you will meet where. So building that communication, confidence, and then being able to stand on your own 2 feet and talk, I think that's something we need to develop. And finally, I think I've heard this from many women. I've heard this from many men. I've heard this on various forums, okay, where we as women are asking for support of men. The men don't ask us for the support. They take it for granted. But many of us who have done something in life, in any life, whether it's academics, whether it's business, whether it's anything, whether it's an artist, I think we forget one thing. We forget to thank the men in our lives who have quietly supported us. None of us could have grown to whatever level we have grown without the support of our family, which comprises of men, father, brother, husband, son, whatever. Just as equally that our men would not have succeeded without our support, without the support of their wife, mother, sister, or whatever. So I think when we talk of equality, we forget it's not making women equal to men, but it's for men and women to be equal in each other's eyes. That, when we reach that, then I think we will have an equal partnership. We will strive and work together to not only build our homes, our businesses, our lives, but also what I am very proud of, this country. I'll stop here. If there are any questions, happy to take.
Thank you indeed, Ruparel ma'am. In fact, many people joined later, so for their benefit, I will just introduce about ma'am. Padmaja Ruparel ji is nationally recognized as a key player in the Indian entrepreneurial ecosystem. and has helped co-found many institutions besides being an active angel investor herself. Padmajaji is the senior managing partner of the IAN Fund, a uniquely differentiated fund which, along with IAN, is set to create the largest horizontal platform in India for investing in seed and early stage ventures. She has been awarded top 50 most powerful women in business by Fortune India and 30 most powerful women in India by Business Today several times consecutively. The Women Economic Forum recognized her with its Women of the Decade in Investment Banking Award. Padmajaji is co-founder and president of Indian Angel Network, India's first and now possibly one of the world's largest group of business angels, comprising the world's who's who of successful entrepreneurs and dynamic CEOs from India and overseas. She built IAN from inception with close to 500 investors across 10 countries spanning 17 sectors. Padmajaji has been nominated as co-chair of Global Business Angel Network. She is a member of the National Expert Advisory Committee on Innovation, Incubation, and Technology Entrepreneurship. She is a member of several committees of BIRAC, various committees of Ministry of Finance, DPIIT, and SEBI. She is a member of the Governing Council of EM3 Service, a nation-building venture seeking to create a paradigm shift in the agri segment. She also set up and operationalized the Delhi chapter of TIE, the world's largest organization focused on entrepreneurship with over 16,000 members across the globe. She was Executive Director, Indian Venture Capital Association, and currently its member. She also helped creation of Lankan Angel Network of Sri Lanka. So this was for the benefit of those who joined later, and she had spoken already. So indeed, ma'am, you have given a wonderful insight about how the women entrepreneurs soon come forward, and your closing sentence that equality is not bringing women equal to women, but making men and women equal. That's a beautiful, in fact, mantra and concept which you have given, and we should also think of building Bharat and not India. There's also another very important thing, and the 3, 4, 5, in fact, factors which you told, like confidence, women, and then owning the assets, and innate, and so many other, in fact, aspects which you discuss. They are wonderful and very important for our youngsters. So before we move to the next speaker, may I request if any of the audience has got questions for her? And normally, ma'am, what happens that since the audience is very large, so they place the questions on the chat box and we get connected to you. So sometimes it becomes difficult, So I would request if there are no questions at the moment, they can place it in the chat box, and we will definitely direct it to Ruparel ma'am, and she will be very happy to answer that. And also, ma'am, we have got, in fact, wonderful coming up innovation foundation here in Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University, and we have many women founders in our incubatees which are already there. We would love to take your advice and associate you with our foundation if you kindly permit, and take your time to nurture our people. So we have, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dubey. Thank you for your very kind and generous words. I would love to engage, time permitting. I'm a little struck on time as we raise the next fund so that we can build more entrepreneurs. But thank you very much for inviting me and allowing me to share your platform. Thank you very much. And yes, please, if there are any questions, anybody wants some help, I'd be happy to. If you could just share those questions, I can respond in whichever way you think is useful for the participants. On that note, let me wish everybody thank you, goodbye, and stay well, stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. You have already committed that you will help us if required. You will take. I will take your time. Thank you indeed.
One. I met her earlier. I don't know whether she remembers.
Yeah. So now we would move to the next speaker. We have with us Dr. Leena Bavadekar ji. She is an Ayurvedic consultant based at Pune and presently National Secretary of Shakti, a national movement for women, working for the empowerment of women through science and technology. Dr. Bavadekar is highly passionate about social services. Some of the activities which she does include adolescent health, addressing social, physical, and psychological concerns. Then Yuva Shakti Abhiyan, that is interactive session on health, hygiene, and security for college-going students. Occupational health hazard management, workshops for various sectors. Ayurvedic, nutritive, and herbal products preparation training program for rural and urban housewives. Then cancer awareness program. There are many programs. In fact, she is busy all the time in the social service. I invite Dr. Leena Bavadekar to deliver his talk.
Namaste. Thank you, Dubey ji.
Namaste.
नमस्ते नमस्ते
नमस्ते. हाँ, वैसे तो इस प्लेटफॉर्म में मैं कुछ थोड़ी सी अलग ही हूँ. मैं खुद एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ, लेकिन विज्ञान क्षेत्र की नहीं, वैद्यकीय क्षेत्र में हूँ.
वो तो सुपर विज्ञान है.
मेडिकल प्रोफेशन में हूँ
जी मैम.
और अभी मेरे क्लिनिक में ही बैठी हूँ मैं. ये सब अभी पद्मजा जी ने कहा, ये सभी बातें एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट के लेवल पर वो जो कर रही है, सब बातें एज ए सोशल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ग्रास रूट से शुरू हो जाती है. और शक्ति का कार्य वही है कि जो उन्होंने कहा कि मेन एंड विमेन, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. तो शक्ति की बेसिक कंसेप्ट यही है, अर्धनारीश्वर संकल्पम, जो संस्कृत में कहा गया है, अर्धनारीश्वर संकल्पम, शिव शक्त्या युक्तः शक्ति ही. और शिव और शक्ति ये दोनों एक दूसरे को पूरक कार्य करते हैं, एक दूसरे का पूरक, कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री, दे प्ले कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री रोल टू ईच अदर. तभी तो हम सब कुछ काम कर सकते हैं, या हम जो काम कर रहे हैं वो इसी से उत्पन्न हो जाता है, ऑटोमेटिक हो जाता है. और ये पूरा ये भारत की ये परंपरा है. शिव शक्त्या युक्ता ही भारत की परंपरा है. अभी हम सोचेंगे कि ये क्यों करना है. वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट, इसके लिए मेरे विषय में ऐसे मैंने लिखा है, उद्यमिता की भावना, स्पिरिट, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्पिरिट, ये उत्पन्न होने की ज्यादा ये आवश्यकता है. जो हम ग्रास रूट पर जब काम करते हैं वो ये समझ में आता है. दीदी ने अभी जो कहा, रूपारेल जी ने, कि कॉन्फिडेंस, लैक ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस, बस इतनी ही बात है. कन्विक्शन, लैक ऑफ कन्विक्शन, ये बात है, ये हमेशा दिखाई देती है. ये सब क्यों करना है? तो आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए करना है. आत्मनिर्भर भारत कब बन जाता है? जब एक महिला आत्मनिर्भर बन जाती है. आत्मनिर्भर महिला बनने के लिए उसको उद्योजिकता में प्रवेश करना अत्यंत आवश्यक है. इससे है कि शक्ति जो काम करती है, सामाजिक, सांस्कृतिक, आर्थिक और बौद्धिक विकास महिलाओं का थ्रू साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी. तो उसमें सामाजिक हो सकता है, आसपास के लोगों से मिलकर. आर्थिक जो हो जाता है वो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट के माध्यम से हो जाता है. और एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट के माध्यम से ये सामाजिक विकास भी अपने आप हो जाता है. जिसमें मेरा हाफ पार्ट मेरे सेशन का जो है कि फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द सोसाइटी. तो ये महिला स्वयं आत्मनिर्भर बनना, ये बात पर हम ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं, और ये इस बात पर ध्यान देना अत्यंत आवश्यक है. सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस किस तरह से आता है? जैसे कि हम लोग ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, शक्ति एज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो काम करते हैं उसमें ई लर्निंग के लिए हम काम करते हैं. एक कंप्यूटर कैसे यूज करना, मोबाइल कैसे यूज करना, अभी सभी बातें स्मार्टफोन पर ही चल रही है। इस बात से भी एक कॉन्फिडेंस उत्पन्न होता है। अभी कुछ फोटोज वीडियोस देखने के लिए मोबाइल का उपयोग होता है, लेकिन इसके आगे जाकर उद्यमिता के लिए मोबाइल का उपयोग किस तरह से किया जाता है, इसका ट्रेनिंग भी हमारे संस्था में हो जाता है। महिला ने हर एक महिला को एक जानना ये अत्यंत आवश्यक है कि महिला का विकास, ये एक उत्कृष्ट विकास, एक सुंदर प्रक्रिया है। ये एक जैसे एक छोटी बच्ची से होकर वो एक माँ बन जाती है और फिर पूरे परिवार की जिम्मेदारी लेती है। तो इस सभी में जो आता है वो है मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स, जो उद्यमिता में अत्यंत आवश्यक है। तो ये उसके नेचुरल क्वालिफिकेशंस है। शक्ति यही सोचती है कि महिला के अंदर जो नेचुरली बातें हैं वही उनका विकास किया जाए, उसकी पहचान उसको दी जाए। जिसकी पहचान उसको नहीं होती है, क्यों नहीं होती है कि वो कभी इस बारे में विचार नहीं करती। जैसे हम मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, वैसे टाइम मैनेजमेंट ये उसकी स्ट्रेंथ है। उसने देखना चाहिए कि मेरी स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, उसके ऊपर अगर ध्यान दिया जाए तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट ये महिला की स्ट्रेंथ है। बच्चों को टाइम पर स्कूल में भेजना, पति को टाइम पर टिफिन भर के देना और सब बातें, पूरा दिन का शेड्यूल मैनेज करना, ये किस गृहस्थ महिला की बात कर रही हूँ। तो वो गृहस्थ है, लेकिन उसका स्पेशल क्वालिफिकेशन है कि वो होम मेकर है, घर को बनाती है, होम मेकर है। तो ये उसका क्वालिफिकेशन है। उस क्वालिफिकेशन को सिर्फ बढ़ावा देना ये समाज का कार्य है। वो पता है उसको, लेकिन उसको बढ़ावा देना ये हर एक की जिम्मेदारी है ना, उसके घर वालों की नहीं, हमारी भी है। जो समाज के हम हिस्सा है, हम लोगों की भी जिम्मेदारी है। और इस जिम्मेदारी अगर हम करते हैं तो ये महिला बहुत अच्छे से काम करने में सफल हो जाती है। ये सब हमने ई लर्निंग प्रोग्राम में देखा है। जब हम ग्राम स्तर पर काम करते हैं वहां भी हमने ये देखा है कि ये लोग अपना अपना काम कर सकते हैं। विशेष किसी क्षेत्र में भी उसको गति होती है। अर्थव्यवस्था का नियोजन महिला उत्कृष्ट कर सकती है। तो जब वो एक उद्यमी महिला बन जाती है, उद्यमी बन जाएगी, तो अर्थव्यवस्था में अलग उसको ट्रेनिंग लेने की आवश्यकता ही नहीं है। वो एक पैसा भी इधर का उधर नहीं होने देती। तो इस तरह ये उसकी क्वालिफिकेशन है, जिसको हमें सिर्फ बढ़ावा देने की आवश्यकता है आज के युग में। अभी यहाँ हम बात कर रहे हैं कि होम मेकर किसको उद्यमी बनाना है। यहाँ तो कई लोग ऐसे हैं कि वो अपने आप उद्यमी है ही, लेकिन एक समाज की परिस्थिति ऐसी है कि कोई लोग उद्यमी रहते हैं, कोई लोग जॉब करते हैं, कोई गृहस्थी में ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं, होम मेकर रहते हैं। तो जो जॉब करने वाली महिला रहती है वो जॉब पर डिपेंड रहती है। और जब जॉब करने के बाद हर महीने में जो पैसा आता है उसके ऊपर उसका पूरा उसका ध्यान उसके ऊपर रहता है। जो होम मेकर रहती है उसका ध्यान अपने घर में जो बड़े बुजुर्ग हैं, अपने पति हैं, उनसे जब पैसे मिलेंगे तभी वो कर सकती है। लेकिन अगर उसको स्वयं आत्मनिर्भर जब वो बनेगी, खुद तक कुछ ना कुछ कर सकेगी, तो सिर्फ उसे इतना ही बताना है हमें कि आप अपने परिवार के लिए, स्वयं के लिए कुछ करोगी, उसका उपयोग पूरे परिवार के लिए होगा। और जब पूरे परिवार के लिए होगा तभी वो पूरे समाज के लिए होगा। इसको जो अपनी अंतर्गत क्षमता है उसको जानकर उसको बढ़ावा देना है, और उसके बाद ही वो पूरे समाज का विकास, और इसी पर आधार है पूरे देश का विकास। यहाँ जैसे कि वैद्यक समूह में भी ऐसा होता है। कई बार मेडिकल प्रोफेशन में महिला आती है, लड़की आती है, लेकिन जब वो बड़ी हो जाती है और घरेलू बाकी सब जिम्मेदारियों के कारण वो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, खुद का व्यवसाय शुरू करने में वो सफल नहीं रहती, करने में वो हिचकती है। तो वो छोड़कर आज के दिन में ऐसा कहूंगी कि हमारे क्षेत्र में भी कई लड़कियों को पहले से ही कॉलेज के स्तर पर ही अगर उनको ये प्रशिक्षण दिया जाए, जैसे ये छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज इनोवेशन फाउंडेशन के जो कार्य है, इसके साथ मिलकर, शक्ति के साथ मिलकर अगर इस तरह का काम, क्योंकि हमारा रीच कॉलेजेस में है, हम इंजीनियरिंग के लड़कियों को भी कहते हैं कि आप इंजीनियर बन जाओगे तो आप करना क्या है, जॉब करना है, और देखना क्या है कि मेरा पैकेज कितना है। जो उद्यमी महिला होती है उसका पैकेज अनलिमिटेड रहता है, और जो जॉब करती है उनका पैकेज में हमेशा लिमिटेशंस रहती है। वो अनलिमिटेड पैकेज उसका हो, इसके लिए उसका मोटिवेशन करना ये अत्यंत आवश्यक है। जैसे कि अगर आप जॉब कर रही हो तो आप अपने परिवार की रक्षा कर सकती हो। अगर आप जॉब देने वाली, जॉब सीकिंग होना एक बात है, और अगर आप जॉब देने वाली महिला हो जाओ तो आपके साथ आप पूरा समाज का विकास करोगे। इसलिए मैंने कहा कि ये उद्यमी, इसमें एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलप फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सोसाइटी, पूरे समाज का विकास करना है, तो हमें जॉब मांगने वालों से भी आवश्यक है कि जॉब देने वाले बनना है। जो छोटे छोटे व्यवसाय लोग करते हैं, महिलाएं शुरू करती है, अपने घरेलू व्यवसाय करती है, मार्केटिंग स्किल्स के लिए झगड़ती है, लेकिन झगड़ना और झगड़ के भी जो मुझे चाहिए वो प्राप्त करना, ये भी उसकी इनर्ट क्वालिटी है। ये भी हमें देखना है कि किस तरह से वो इनर्ट क्वालिटी को बढ़ावा देती है। जब कोई प्रॉब्लम आ जाता है तब महिला उसमें खड़ी रहती है हमेशा, ये हम देखते हैं। अभी इस जब कोविड के 2 सालों में हम सबने ये अनुभव किया है, कई लोगों की जॉब छूट गए। उस समय क्या हुआ, मेरे परिचित हमारे दोस्त है जो दोनों ही पति पत्नी इंजीनियर थे, उन्होंने पूरा जॉब छोड़कर एक अपना अपना बिजनेस शुरू कर दिया, जिसमें आटा मिलता है घर में, तो वो आटा उन्होंने हमें होम डिलीवरी आटा इसे उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया। तो वो जॉब, वो काम जो उन्होंने शुरू किया इतना बढ़ गया है, उन्होंने कई महिलाओं को जॉब दिया, कई पुरुषों को भी जॉब दिया। इसमें ना पुरुष का ये मेरा काम, महिला का काम है, ये पुरुष का काम है, ऐसी बात नहीं है। फिटिंग का काम भी महिला कर सकती है, स्क्रू लगाने का काम भी कर सकती है, इलेक्ट्रिशियन का काम भी महिला कर सकती है। तो उसके सामने स्काई इज द लिमिट, ऐसी बात है। सिर्फ मन की धारणा होनी चाहिए कि मैं ये कर सकती हूँ, ये कॉन्फिडेंस उसके बीच में, उसके मन में आना चाहिए। तो यही बात सिर्फ है कि अगर वो करना चाहती है तो वो सब बात कर सकती है, कौन सी भी बात वो कर सकती है। और इसमें सब एक बात मैं जोड़ना चाहती हूँ कि एक सतर्कता आनी चाहिए। कोविड के समय जो हमने सर्वेक्षण किया था एज अ एनजीओ, एज अ वॉलंटरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, हमने सर्वे किया था। 300 महिलाओं तक हम पहुंचे थे जिनको कोविड हो गया था। तो उन सभी को हेल्थ वाइज वो फिट थी, ज्यादा उनको तकलीफ नहीं थी। उनको सबसे अच्छी तकलीफ वो थी कि उन्हें इनकम सोर्स उनका बंद हो गया था, खुद का बंद हो गया था, पति का बंद हो गया था। तो ये नेशनल समस्या हो गई। तो एक सर्वेक्षण से हमें ये नेशनल अलग समस्या करने गए थे हम, हेल्थ सर्वेक्षण, तो हेल्थ से वो रिकवर हो गई, क्योंकि उन्होंने योगा, वो वीडियो देखकर योगा करके पूरा ध्यान धारणा ये सब करके उन्होंने अपने हेल्थ से हेल्थ अच्छी करने में वो सफल रही। लेकिन इसके लिए उनके पास उत्तर नहीं था। आप हमें पैसा भी देने वाली हो, इस तरह से उन्होंने हमें पूछा। तो उसका उत्तर था कि अगर आप रोजगार देने वाली बन जाओ, खुद का बिजनेस शुरू करो, तो ये समस्या कभी नहीं आएगी। और खुद के पांव पर खड़े रहने के लिए हर एक महिला को हम जो टाइम मैनेजमेंट अगर वो कर सकती है, तो मैं घर में बैठकर भी कुछ काम कर सकती है। और इतना ही नहीं, कुछ ऐसी बात नहीं कि छोटा सा काम करे। अभी हमारे एक कॉन्फ्रेंस होने वाली है स्ट्रीट 2020। तो स्ट्रीट 2020 का लॉन्ग फॉर्म है साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, रिसर्च एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एनहांसमेंट। तो इसमें ये एक टॉपिक है एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एनहांसमेंट। गांव तक हम पहुंचते थे, रूरल एरिया में भी। और इसका मोटो ऐसा है women in science and technology, role of women in science and technology for sustainable development. भारत की विकास में, शाश्वत विकास में साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी महिलाओं का योगदान क्या है, तो इस योगदान के लिए उनको प्रमोट करना और ये आप योगदान दे सकती हो ये बात उन पर पहुंचाना. इसमें एग्रीकल्चर का एक जो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की जो इश्यूज है उसमें से 17 गोल्स है, उसमें से 8 गोल पर हमारा काम चल रहा है. उसमें से एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड से एक महिला आ रही है, उसकी खुद की खेती है, खुद खेत में काम करती है, वो एमए तक पढ़ी हुई है, लेकिन उसको लगता है कि उसको अभिमान है कि मैं एक एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ, मेरा खुद का व्यवसाय है और मेरे अंडर कई महिलाएं काम कर रही है, वो वहां प्रेजेंटेशन देने के लिए आ रही है. तो यही बात है, मैं सभी महिलाओं को कहना चाहती हूँ कि कौन सा भी काम छोटा नहीं है, हमें सिर्फ मन में ठान लेना चाहिए कि मैं कर सकती हूँ. और मेरे परिवार को बढ़ावा देने के लिए हर एक को यही लगता है कि बच्चे सीखे, बच्चे पढ़े, बच्चे सीखे और अपने पांव पर खड़े रहे. क्यों नहीं मैं भी बच्चों के साथ सीखूं, पढ़ूं और मेरे पांव पर खड़ी रहूं. इसमें एक ये उद्यमिता के साथ में एक भारतीय विशेषता है जो है हमारा धर्म. धर्म मतलब रिलीजन नहीं है. भारतीय परंपरा में धर्म इसे कहते हैं. भारतीय संस्कृति धर्म पर आधारित है, जिसमें हमारा पितृ ऋण होता है, मातृ ऋण होता है, गुरु ऋण होता है, देश का ऋण होता है, परिवार का ऋण होता है. इन ऋणों को इस जन्म में ही हमें चुकाना है. तो इस ऋण को चुकाने के लिए भी हमें इस सभी बातों पर खड़े रहना महिला के लिए अत्यंत आवश्यक है और वो रह सकती है. और हम सब मिलकर आज के दिन पर ऐसा सोचेंगे कि सभी महिलाओं को, ज्यादा से ज्यादा महिलाओं को, आप उद्यमी बन जाओ और कौन सी भी नैसर्गिक आपत्ति आ सकती है, व्यक्तिगत आपत्ति आ सकती है जो कोविड के समय आ गई. अस्पताल में मैं हॉस्पिटल से रिलेटेड हूँ, कई महीने हॉस्पिटल में एडमिशन कराई थी. मुझे पता है क्या परिस्थिति थी. 1 लाख का कम से कम बिल नॉर्मल हॉस्पिटल में आता था और उसके बाद की ट्रीटमेंट भी बहुत महंगी थी. घर का पूरा बर्तन बेचकर भी महिलाओं ने काम किया था. तो ये नेचुरल कैलेमिटी है, इस तरह से कभी भी आ सकती है. तो इस सबके सामना आने के बाद सामना करने से बेहतर है आप पहले से ही इसके लिए तैयार रहो. इसलिए मैं सभी को आह्वान और मेरा निवेदन है सभी महिलाओं को उद्यमी बनने के लिए, और विश्व उद्यमी दिवस पर जो अपने आप में उद्यमी है अभी, उन सभी बहनों को मेरा शतशः अभिवादन. और इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर मुझे बुलाने के लिए छत्रपति शाहजी महाराज इनोवेशन फाउंडेशन का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. दुबे जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर लीना बावडेकर जी. आप स्वयं में एक प्रेरणा है. आपने बहुत कुछ काम किया है. संस्कृत की आपने कुछ पुस्तकों का भी अनुवाद हिंदी में किया है आयुर्वेद के ऊपर. और आपने शुरुआत जिस तरह से की कि शिवा और शक्ति, हमारे यहाँ अर्धनारीश्वर का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है उसमें कभी भी मेन एंड वुमेन के बीच में डिफरेंस तो था ही नहीं. जो रूपारेल मैम ने जो कहा था वो वही चीज हमारे यहाँ शास्त्रों में पुराने समय से ही वर्णित है, जो आपने श्लोक शुरू में ही बोला. और हमारे भारत की परंपरा रही है, उसको वापस हमें ठीक से जीवित करना है. और आपने एक बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बात कही कि आत्मनिर्भर महिला ही भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बना सकती है, क्योंकि हर परिवार मिलकर के ही समाज और राष्ट्र बनता है और हर परिवार में महिला का ही प्रमुख योगदान होता है, जो कि उसको सक्षम और सुदृढ़ बनाता है और आगे ले जाता है. आपका ये भी बहुत अच्छा सुझाव कि कॉलेज लेवल से ही, इसीलिए ये प्रोग्राम हम लोग कर ही रहे हैं और हमारे साथ बहुत सारे विद्यालयों से लड़कियां जुड़ी हुई हैं और उनको अभी से हम लोग इंक्यूबेट करने के लिए अनेक क्रियाएं कर रहे हैं. हमारे साथ डॉक्टर साहब 750 कॉलेज जुड़े हुए हैं दूर दराज जगहों में, और वहाँ पे भी हम लोग कुछ कार्यक्रम करने का ऐसा प्लान कर रहे हैं कि Tier 3 Tier 4 सिटीज के बच्चों को भी हम आगे लेके आएं और उनको अपने यहाँ प्री इंक्यूबेट करें. तो ये आपका जो आज का वक्तव्य था मैडम, बहुत ही सुंदर, बहुत ही उपयोगी रहा है. यदि कोई हमारे में से प्रश्न पूछना चाहे तो आमंत्रित है.
नमस्ते रीना ताई. एक आपका इतना एक्सपीरियंस रहा है विद सोशल एंड रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, आई थिंक. सो एनी टिप्स, बिकॉज हम हमारे यहाँ पे कई आई थिंक एनएसएस के स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं, you know, who are working from the university from point of view, and you know, who go to the villages and you know, try to motivate ladies. So from your vast experience, is there, because, and you know, they usually face a lot of challenges, because it's not easy to motivate women, you know, to come forward and do things. So from your experience, are there any tips of, you know, how we can actually get women on the ground really motivated, and you know, they think that this is all just big talk. Like you said, there's a confidence issue. So how do we get across this barrier? Thank you.
हाँ, एकदम सिंपल बात है. अगर हम उनके बीच में जाकर उनसे बात करें, हम नहीं बोलेंगे. उनसे जाकर हमारा एक ऐसा रहता है कि कभी किसी को मिलने जाते हैं तो उनकी बातें सुनना, उनकी बातें सुनेंगे तो उनसे अपने आप उनके जो समस्या है वो उनके मन से निकल आती है. जब उनके मन से वो समस्या निकल आती है तो हम उसको सोल्यूशन देना हमारे लिए आसान हो जाता है. इससे बहुत आउटंक होता है. तो उससे हम कुछ उससे उनको उद्यमी महिला बन सके. उससे आप क्या कर सकते हो? तो आजकल तो पूरे 2 प्रोडक्ट्स बहुत सारे आ रहे हैं. उसका ट्रेनिंग महात्मा गांधी इंस्टीट्यूट है, वर्धा की जो इंस्टीट्यूट, अभी नाम सामने मन में नहीं आ रहा है, वहां पर ट्रेनिंग दिया जाता है. उसको फ्री में ट्रेनिंग मिलता है. तो एक ग्रुप बनाकर, अगर आप एक को बोलेंगे आप जाओ तो नहीं आएंगे. अगर उनका ग्रुप बनाकर एक 5-6 महिलाओं को आप उस ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में लेकर जाओगे तो वहां फ्री ट्रेनिंग मिलता है. वो आने जाने का खर्चा भी कर सकते हैं. और दूसरा जो मैंने कहा कि जो हम नेचुरल आयुर्वेदिक प्रोडक्ट्स, होममेड प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने को सिखाते हैं, जैसे शतावरी कल्प, ये है न्यूट्रिटिव प्रोडक्ट, लेकिन ये आप बाजार में लेने जाओगे तो 1000 रुपए 800 रुपए किलो से आता है. लेकिन अगर उसका ट्रेनिंग हम देते हैं और वो महिला खुद बनाती है वो और उसको बेचती है, अस्पताल में भी बेचती है, तो उससे भी उसको एक उद्योग हमेशा के लिए उसका शुरू हो जाता है. तो इस तरह से उन्हें हम एक छोटा छोटा उद्योग दे सकते हैं. क्रिएटिविटी उसके अंदर भी है, लेकिन उसके अंदर की क्रिएटिविटी निकालना ये हमारा स्किल होना है.
बहुत 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 धन्यवाद डॉक्टर साहब. आपने बहुत सही चीज बताई कि एक तो उनको ग्रुप में बुलाएं और उनसे हमें निकालना है, हमारा दायित्व है और जरूर हम इसको निभाएंगे. और आपसे हम जुड़े रहेंगे बाद में भी. और हमारे यहाँ जो कई सारी गर्ल को फाउंडर्स एंड फाउंडर्स लेडीज हैं, उनसे भी आपका साक्षात्कार कराएंगे और आपका उनसे मेंटरशिप भी करवाएंगे. ऐसे मेरा आग्रह रहेगा यदि आपके पास समय होगा. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. हमारे बीच में अब अगली वक्तव्य देने के लिए गौरी सरीन जी आएंगी. मैं गौरी सरीन जी को आमंत्रित करने के पहले मैं उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा बता दूं. गौरी सरीन is the founder of organic platform Bhumija and living without medicine to promote healthy living. She has also launched a village to kitchen model for natural farmers. Gauri has worked for more than 20 years in waste management, greening, water harvesting, organic farming, entrepreneurship, development, and healthy living. She set up Bhumija platform as a social venture to support farmers and agripreneurs and build a movement of health-conscious urbanites. The platforms foster B2B knowledge sharing and business for organic agripreneurs and B2B market linkages for growing set of consumers seeking organic and healthy foods. Gauri sees this as the model which completes the circle, the first of its kind. Natural farmers market with Haryana farmers was launched in association with Spencer's, with the aim to create a world where no medicine is needed. Living without medicine has started many educational programs which are being liked by global audience too. They are also fostering movement for creating a pipeline of conscious health coaches. She is a sustainable habitable advocate a change maker and an influencer. She led several campaigns and movements on water harvesting as the first active water warrior in Gurgaon. Malba Hatao, Pan City Freedom from Plastic, first urban mini forest in Gurgaon, the first ever Gurgaon Artist Festival, and many more. Her work has won several accolades. Gauri travels across India to meet progressive farmers and in the process several communities, linking them to desi bees, food forests, herbs, gaushalas, and so on. According to Gauri, this is just the beginning. So we would also like to make a beginning with you, Dr. Gauri. Please guide us. Please go ahead.
We are students of life, so we're all the time learning. And that's the beauty of the internet, that it has created a space for all of us to learn all the time. And this is one excellent example of that. So yeah, just to add a little brief to what Ravinderji has said, that I have been an entrepreneur myself. I have been an entrepreneur for almost 18 years in the space of talent management, executive search, with my HR, human resources background. And it is after leaving that entrepreneurship that I moved into a very, very different space, almost with no background in this space. So just would you like to put the presentation on, or you want me to just read it out, just share?
Utkarsh, would you like to?
Yes, I can pull it up on the screen now. I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And the video also.
इसमें एक ये उद्यमिता के साथ में एक भारतीय विशेषता है, जो है हमारा धर्म मतलब रिलीजन नहीं है। भारतीय परंपरा में धर्म इसे कहते हैं, भारतीय संस्कृति धर्म पर आधारित है, जिसमें हमारा पितृ ऋण होता है, मातृ ऋण होता है, गुरु ऋण होता है, देश का ऋण होता है, परिवार का ऋण होता है। इन ऋणों को इस जन्म में ही हमें चुकाना है। इस ऋण को चुकाने के लिए भी हमें इस सभी बातों पर खड़े रहना महिला के लिए अत्यंत आवश्यक है, और वो रह सकती है। और हम सब मिलकर
Allow me.
Sorry for the mistake.
There were two windows which crossed. So
Okay.
give me a minute.
Not a problem.
Here we are. I hope it's visible.
I was told to make a presentation. I would have been very happy just talking, but देखते हैं इसको, थोड़ा सा बात भी करते हैं और थोड़ा सा presentation भी देते हैं. So the topic I was given, or rather which I redefined, Ravindra, if I may say so, is can women entrepreneurs redefine success in a man's world? हम समझते हैं कि सक्सेस एक तरह की चीज है, और पद्मजा जी ने बहुत सुंदर तरीके से उसका एक विवरण किया in a way from an investor's point of view, from the point of view of what is is the way to do things for women so that they become successful entrepreneurs, right? So that is what we defined earlier. And Leena ji gave a very different perspective of it, and I'm bringing a slightly more wider perspective to it. कि जो महिलाएं हैं, क्या वो सक्सेस को जिस तरह से मैन्स वर्ल्ड में डिफाइन किया है कि उसकी परिभाषा भी चेंज कर सकती हैं क्या? तो और सच में ये हुआ है, ये परिभाषा चेंज करने का जो एक सिलसिला है, ये क्या शुरू हो गया है? और इस सिलसिला को लेके Utkarsh, can you bring me on the site so that people can see me also? Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am. Just allow me a minute, please.
Thank you. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it's good to kind of interact not as a slide, but as a.
Right, definitely.
So what are the types of, can you put the second slide on? What are the types of entrepreneurs? इसका थोड़ा सा background देते हैं पहले कि हमारी जो महिलाएं हैं, types of entrepreneurs, Utkarsh. Yeah, thank you. This one. So जो हमारी महिलाएं हैं, उनके अगेन बहुत अच्छे से डिस्क्राइब किया हमारे दो स्पीकर्स ने। मैं उसको सिर्फ एक छोटा से मॉडल की तरह दिखाना चाह रही हूँ कि जो महिलाओं ने एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप अपनाई है तो किस अलग अलग लेवल पे अपनाई है, किस डिफरेंट फेज ऑफ लाइफ में अपनाई है, किस तरह की अपनाई है। So I've called them into 4 stages. One is I'm saying step in, step out. Third is step up, and the fourth is step away. ये stepped गलत है. So step in, step out, step up, and step away. Right? अब ये मैं इसका मतलब क्या है? तो हम देखते हैं कि जो महिलाएं हैं वो अलग अलग स्टेजेस में कई बार they take on entrepreneurship. So if you see that in the early phase of their life cycle, which means when they are young, they've just got married, they're having family and kids responsibility, they will typically go in to a home-based, a need-driven, maybe a local needs-driven kind of a business. And there are thousands of such businesses today which are proliferating across our nation. Some of these businesses are not even in the MSME directory. They are not registered anywhere. And these businesses have been able to provide wonderful livelihood at the level of income generation for these women, supporting incomes for families for these women. And many of them are very local needs driven, as in कि हाँ हमको हमारे फैमिली, हमारे घर के आमने सामने क्या चीज की जरूरत है जो हम आसानी से फुलफिल कर सकते हैं। सो उसके बेस पे महिलाओं ने ये काम किया है। इसको मैं बोलती हूँ स्टेप इन स्टेज। सेकेंड स्टेज आई कॉल इज द टैलेंट एंड पैशन ड्रिवन स्टेज। इसमें क्या है, महिला अपना जो टैलेंट है, अपनी क्रिएटिविटी है, अपने अंदर एक समझो हॉबी है या कुछ चीज वो सच में जानती है, एक स्किल है जिसे वो जानती है और उसको वो फलित करने के लिए कोशिश करती है, कुछ करने के लिए। एंड इस स्टेज में वो उसके बच्चे शायद थोड़े से बड़े हो गए हैं, अब उनका दे आर नॉट दैट डिपेंडेंट ऑन हर, सो व्हाट डज शी ट्राई टू डू, शी स्टेप्स आउट. So this is the time when she will go to maybe exhibitions, maybe she will go to small spaces where marketing is done, where she can connect with other people, where she can collaborate if required, and where she can basically display her talents. So you can see a lot of artisans in this space, people in the food business in this space, people who are in a variety of things actually, just not one or two things, but they have actually. The third is when she steps up. Now, steps up hota hai when she enhances her skills. उन्होंने learning कुछ कर ली है, बहुत जो सीखा था स्कूल कॉलेज में और कई बार छोड़ भी दिया था जैसे कॉलेज, लेकिन अब टाइम आया है कि नहीं, मुझे अभी रीलर्निंग करनी है, मुझे नए स्किल्स सीखने हैं, मुझे देखना है कि क्या हो रहा है, इंटरनेट में देखना है क्या हो रहा है, दूसरों से सीखना है क्या हो रहा है और टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे यूज करते हैं, सोशल मीडिया में क्या हो रहा है, उससे सीख के अब वो समझती है कि जो मैंने अभी तक खड़ा किया है या कुछ नया मैं खड़ा कर सकती हूँ, which really takes me to a different level. और इसमें मैं थोड़ा लेवल ऑफ स्केल भी देख सकती हूँ, मैं बाहर जा सकती हूँ, I can step into a platform which is now equal to also maybe which can be called a small business, right? Small to medium business. And that is a third stage. The fourth is step away. Now, this is a very important thing which I want to share with all of you. And this often happens at a stage when they have become financially independent. यानी कि हस्बैंड वाइफ ने अच्छे से कमा लिया है, घर में पैसा है, पैसे की ज्यादा कमी नहीं है, बच्चों को का एजुकेशन सेट हो गया, हो सकता है शादी भी हो गई बच्चों को ना, बच्चों की। इस स्टेज में जब उसको लगता है कि नहीं अब मेरे ऊपर फाइनेंशियल बर्डन नहीं है, लेकिन मैं जो मेरी ड्रीम है वो करना चाहती हूँ, हमेशा से जो करना चाहती थी उसके लिए मेरे लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है। So then she steps away, which means she steps away from anything which may be an enterprise, which may be just giving her money or which is creating, higher, income for her. It is not only fulfilling her income needs, but it is fulfilling a purpose need. And I'm actually talking about this very fundamental to women entrepreneurs. Women entrepreneurs, whether they are at step in, step out, step up stage, they are always wanting to step away. And that is also defining for me what is the way, success for women, what success means to women. which means effectively that at some stage they may not be, and I'm giving you my own example, till about 40 to 45, I felt for me, my financial independence was very important. I was not always very happy with what I was doing. I was using my best skills, my resources, my networks, technology, everything to really reach the point where I knew that I was settled financially. And the day that happened, I said, no, now I will step away and I will move into my next career. And my next career is purpose driven. I also want to emphasize that right through all of these stages, right, and the life cycles that I have defined here, for a woman, the purpose is important. But even more than just the purpose, which we will define later, what is important is the way she looks at whatever she's doing. The why of it, the how of it is very, very important for her. It is not just about what the parameters by which male entrepreneurs define success. So let's come to the next slide now. Yeah. So ये मैं थोड़ा सा एक संक्षिप्त में एक आइडिया दिया है कि जो मेल एंटरप्रेन्योर है और एक फीमेल एंटरप्रेन्योर है, उनके लिए पैरामीटर ऑफ सक्सेस नॉर्मली क्या होता है, राइट? उसका जो मेल एंटरप्रेन्योर है उसके लिए अचीवमेंट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसके लिए मनी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसके लिए बिगनेस यानी कि स्केल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसके लिए स्टेटस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट? और उसके जो ट्रेड्स हैं विच ड्राइव ऑल दिस, उसके ड्राइवर्स है एम्बिशन, उसके ड्राइवर है रिवॉर्ड, उसका ड्राइवर है कंपटीशन, उसका ड्राइवर है पावर, राइट? आप लोग सब मानते हैं दैट एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में ये सब चीजें देखने को मिलती हैं. एवरी एंटरप्रेन्योर वांट्स टू बी रिवॉर्डेड, he is ambitious, he is competitive, and he understands where power lies. With women entrepreneurs it can be little different. Okay, and I'm not saying that all this does not happen with female entrepreneurs. I'm just saying that can they be slightly different drivers of success, and can they also meet somewhere? So for her, the parameter for success very often becomes fulfillment. अगर पैसा भी कोई चीज में मिल रहा है लेकिन उसको she is not feeling fulfilled, the chances are she will not stick to it very long. अगर उसमें उसको पर्पस दिखाई दे रहा है, यानी कि कोई इम्पैक्ट दिखाई दे रहा है, उसको लग रहा है उससे लोगों की लाइफ में फर्क पड़ रहा है, या उसके खुद के भीतर का जो एक मानस्थिति है वो बेटर स्ट्रॉन्गर बनती जा रही है, शी विल प्रेफर टू गो फॉर दैट. शी विल गो वेयर शी कैन फील कनेक्शन, लोगों से कनेक्शन, या उसकी जो कर रही है, जो प्रोडक्ट बना रही है उससे कनेक्शन, या उसको बेचने से उसको जो कनेक्शन मिलती है, she will actually explore connection as a very important parameter. And the fourth is creative expression, जहां उसके जो अंदर भीतरोनी जो creative space है, right, सृजनात्मक जो स्पेस है उसको बाहर निकालने का जो एक उसके लिए एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट ड्राइवर है. और जो ट्रेड्स हैं जो उसको इसकी तरफ जो इसको निखारते हैं आर द नर्चरिंग ट्रेड्स, द सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंगनेस शी फील्स, receptivity or intuition or passion. So these are things, compassion, actually more than passion, compassion. So these are things which make a woman different from a man, and this is what she brings to her business also. So what I'm just trying to say, that all the women who are sitting here, there are so many women who are listening to this, I'm sure they must understand that as entrepreneurs they don't always have to go with the drivers of men. They define their own drivers, and if they don't feel fulfilled, they may get the money, they may achieve, they may have scale, but if they don't feel this, the chances are it is not really making them happy. It is not something which is going to grow beautifully. And here I also want to define something very different between men and women. Men, the male trait is to look at structure, plan. They always plan in a very stepwise way. They like to create structure around everything they do. Women, on the other hand, have the trait of, जिसको शक्ति बहुत सुंदर तरीके से लीना जी ने बताया, शक्ति जो है वो फ्लो में होती है। यानी कि वो कई बार इतने स्ट्रक्चर और प्लानिंग से नहीं सोचती है, वो सोचती है अभी मैं ये करती हूँ, अपने आप अगला स्टेप आ जाएगा, ये करूंगी अपने आप एक अगला स्टेप आ जाएगा। जैसे कि मैंने जब भूमिजा और लिविंग विदाउट मेडिसिन क्रिएट किया, ये सब अपने आप से धीरे 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 करके बढ़ता गया। इसमें जब भी मैंने प्लानिंग करने की कोशिश की, यानी कि इसको एक बहुत गहरा स्ट्रक्चर के ऐसा करना चाहते हैं, ऐसा करना चाहते हैं, ऐसा करेंगे, फिर ऐसा करेंगे, वो नहीं हुआ। लेकिन जो मैंने कुछ प्लानिंग के साथ, कुछ मन के इंटेंशन के साथ, लेकिन फ्लो और इंट्यूशन के साथ जो क्रिएट किया, वो ज्यादा सुंदर होता है। इसका मतलब ये नहीं दैट what women do and men do has to be diametrically opposite. What we are saying is that this is the orientation of women and this is the orientation of men. Men learn from flow. That's the reason when they work together, they learn something new. And women learn from structure. And therefore, when they are working with men, they also learn something new. And the two together make a successful enterprise. Let's go next. So I'm now going to just share with you a little bit about what we have done. What we have done to enable women enterprise, and this is not necessarily only women, but it started with women. We started by creating platforms for them and communities for them and ecosystem enablers for them. Now, when you create a platform or an enabling platform for them, in a thought out manner, it's not that it's thoughtless and jo bhi man kiya nahi. In a thought out manner, when you create a platform and it starts to grow organically, there are many enterprises which benefit from it. So my fundamental work which we have done is really create these kind of collaborative, energizing, enabling platforms where all these four, if you can see, so the platform is the health communities. Through that, we can provide education, and we have actually supported enterprise in that. Through that, we have been able to provide natural farmers a lot of support and entrepreneurial support. Through that, we have been able to create foodpreneurs who are processing food. And through that, we have been able to create many sustainable initiatives, which in turn are leading to a lot of social impact. So a platform has the power to actually create a very enabling energy and space where you don't need to take a person and say, listen, I need to mentor you, or even 1,000 people and say, we want to do this. We create a space in which mentorship, knowledge, opportunities, demand, and ideas start to flow. And women start getting confident to take these opportunities. They're supported to take these opportunities and build their own enterprise. And that is what we have done through Bhumija. Bhumija is a B2B platform, and Living Without Medicine is a B2C platform. By creating these two platforms, women who may have been at a stage, if I do a scale of 1 to 10, when they started off with us, they were at a stage of maybe 2 or 3, and some of them have reached at 5, 6, 7, and even 8 over a period of time. Because they have used the enablers of these platforms, we have continuously supported them by adding the enablers. Instead of telling them that, listen, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to market for you. And this is what happens with many NGOs and many social enterprises. They say that here are a set of people who need livelihood, and we will make sure that their products are taken to the market. What we do is something different. We create enterprise by saying that we will provide you the platforms so that you can pick the resources you require and then become entrepreneurs yourself, right? So we get out from the way of creating, so we basically just completely get out and allow them to grow. And today we can actually claim that a large number of these women, and also men in many cases, so we don't always differentiate, have grown on their journey through this, the support with the platforms and the enablers have given them. right? And this is primarily in the agri-food space that we have done and the health space that we have done. Let's move to the next. Yeah, so what are the role models and enablers? We were just talking, giving a background of that. So networks and communities, I think the very, very important part is how to get women entrepreneurs, or even those who are not entrepreneurs but who want to become entrepreneurs, like a lot of students here. You create platforms, networks, and communities for them, like the example of Bhumija and Living Without Medicine, where they themselves start to grow, start using their skills, pick up mentors they require, pick up the right expertise which they need in order to grow. Now, among them, and these platforms have value chain enhancers, they are ecosystem enablers, which means effectively we are saying they'll have everything in the ecosystem which supports them. So any kind of support which is required by somebody to become an entrepreneur, whether it is funds comes much later, but first it is, what is the kind of product? Do they have a supply chain? Is it packaged in the right way? Do they know how to market themselves? Do they know how to do the compliances? Do they need to do collaborations? Do they have, so everything which is required is available in the ecosystem for them to explore. And these role models, and some of the role models I want to talk about, they really are role models of excellence, creativity, trust, care, and intuition. Why I'm saying these 5 specific values? Because women who are successful in the way we have defined success, they display these 5 values. They display excellence in what they do. They are creative in what they do. They're constantly innovating. They don't need to be given an innovative model. They are innovating on the go. They create trust networks. They create relationships with trust. People trust their product. They trust the person behind it. There is a care element and there is an intuition element, which means you're doing things. You don't collaborate because you know money is at the end of the table. You are intuitive about whom you're connecting with and how you are creating that specific relationship. So there are 2 or 3 examples I'm going to share of such role models, and just 3 examples. I can give you about 100 such examples whom I have personally seen in the last 5 years grow from literally a very small, maybe less than a 2 lakh to a 5 lakh business to anywhere between a 25 lakh to a 75 lakh and to a crore business. I've actually seen this happening in front of my eyes in the last 5 years. And I find these values something very, very key to them. Growth with flow and balance with structure. I just explained right now that growth can be with flow. It does not always have to be with a boxed plan. It does not always have to have a strict structure. And that is where the women are absolutely excellent with. Something to learn from them. And I feel that more and more enterprises which support this concept of growth with flow really need to be, many institutions, funding institutions need to understand this, because they all belong to the man's world. They sometimes do not understand how women grow their business. And connection with purpose. So what you will see with a lot of these enterprises is, and especially the work where I have done, they create wonderful, spaces of enterprise with purpose. So which means that business is creating social impact. There is an intention to create social impact. It is creating livelihoods. It is creating a difference in the people's lives, but it's also creating maybe bringing traditional food back on the tables, maybe bringing artisanal work which has disappeared back into households. It could be any and many more such things, but it is always with purpose. In second careers, we've seen a lot of women who become entrepreneurs, who actually leverage their past assets, whether it is their jobs, which they have done earlier, or the skills they have learned earlier, and they do completely new things, just like I did. So my entire work was around corporates and around hiring. I used the same skills of searching the right kind of people, of using the skills of networking, of actually bringing people together. I've used absolutely my same assets, and then down the line taking them to corporates if required, and then creating these new assets. And last but not the least is use of technology and social media platforms. I think women are getting better and better at it, and I really feel this is one of the most important enabler of today's time. Yeah, next. So these are some examples I wanted to share with you. These are examples of women I've seen. Anita is in Bangalore. I've seen her literally like somebody who started with 5 spice products. It used to be sambar, which she made through the recipe, her grandmother's recipe, and her rasam from her grandmother's recipe, to today she has one of the most flourishing businesses. She exports. She is present in most of the key retail chains in Bangalore, and she has literally become a name, a name unto itself. Bijom is another very beautiful example. I wish I could have shown you at least 100 examples of pictures of Bijom, including that they have created. I saw them 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when they was just a small farm with a small shop, which they used to have, which they used to run in the weekends. Today, it has become one of the biggest. It's become a name. Every day, there's a new innovation which they do. They have been present in practically all the markets. They've come up with very innovative traditional foods. They've actually created a huge food forest, which is an example in itself. Now they're starting their first cafes. The government has offered them in a very large sports complex. So there are multiple things which they have done in the last 5 years, and all of this has come out of flow. It's not as if there was a paper and pen that next 5 years we are going to do this. It has really happened because the person has been connected. She has purpose. She has created trusting relationships. There is real passion to actually create new things and get people to get back to healthy living. So I think that has really been the mantra for her. Let's go next. And another very beautiful example is of this lady called Neeru. Again, she's been coming to our markets. And I remember when she first connected with me, she was almost going to close her beekeeping. She's actually from an industry, left that, went into beekeeping. Her parents thought she had gone mad. And she was very, very firm that she needs to protect the bees. And that needs to and the only way to actually protect them and grow them so that they become pollinators is to make sure that honey reaches everywhere. And so more and more beekeeping happens. She did it with the absolute passion. And today I can tell you her business is at least 50x from the time she connected with me 3 years ago to now. She has become, her brand has really become something to talk about. So these are just small examples. These are all small and medium businesses I'm talking to you about. And when they started, they did not start by thinking, oh, I want to be the number 1 bee provider of India, or I want to be the number 1 best foods provider of India. They did not start like this. They started with intent, with passion, with connection to the purpose, and they gave their 100%. And I feel women entrepreneurs really have it in them to redefine success. Success not in terms of money, not in terms of position or power or status or all of that, but in terms of giving the best to the world and making a difference in the world. And more of this breed is really emerging in this world. And I feel conscious entrepreneurship or sustainable, entrepreneurship, it takes us to a sustainable planet, is really need of the hour. And more women, I think, should really play an important role, and they continue to do so. Thank you. Key takeaways, right? So my quick key takeaways from this session is that the drivers, values, and premises of women are actually different from male counterparts. And we should keep them at least to some extent. They choose different paths depending on their life cycles and the economic dependency. We've seen that, I've already shared with you. Very often in phase 3 of their life cycles, purpose becomes paramount. Then they'll do where the heart takes them compared to their other drivers. Feminine choices are not the same as female gender choices. Somebody will say, oh, women can only do this. No, women are entrepreneurs, and today practically everything, including fintech and the best of technology, highest of technology. So whether it's in the pharmaceutical space, whether it is in the, you can take the entire high-tech space, and women are capable of being entrepreneurs there. So it's not a female gender choice. It is just the way they think, the way they operate, and what matters to them. The opportunity for women is to create conscious enterprises without compromising on enablers such as technology. As second careers, women make choices of social enterprise to create social impact, and supported by the model of growth as flow. Mentors and networks play a very important role for women enterprises. We've seen that, and need to adapt structures around funding and markets and continue to co-create new models. And I feel that the time is the right time for women to learn more of structure, to learn more about how funding is done, and sometimes also come up with new models of funding. They need to push those new models of funding. A lot of that discussion is already on now, especially in the social enterprise space. And therefore, not really compromise on investor interests. So with this, I just want to show a very small video. This is my email ID. Utkarsh, can we?
And with Meenakshi, they both.
So it's just a very small video I shot about 2 days ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Just allow me a second. Let me just change
sure.
the point of view. Yeah.
Please.
Is the screen visible? Because I'm not able to make it. The video is not coming right now.
Oh, it's not.
I think. Okay, then I'll reshare the screen. I'm sorry, I just interjected. You were saying something. Please continue with it.
Yeah. So this was a video which I had shot just 2 days ago. I was in a meet, the CSR box meet, and I saw this a bunch of women. One of them I happen to know as an HR professional, and her second career is now moving into education. And they're doing something really marvelous. And I felt this is something to inspire us. Is the video coming on? If it's not,
yes, it is coming on.
And with Meenakshi, they're both from Bangalore, and they run United Efforts Foundation, and they both are running their second careers. And I was just very curious to know from Meenakshi first that what made you shift from your blooming, corporate career to this.
Basically wanting to make more purpose in life. I was with an IT firm, and all of our projects were onshore. I was missing out on action. And then I had my babies, and then I quit and wanted to rejoin. I wanted more purpose and drive so I can leave my children home for something more valuable than just money.
Beautiful.
So that was made me move careers 10 years ago. Yeah.
So in a way, you're running a social enterprise. And right, and this is what I'm going to be talking about it in a day or two. So this is great. And Monica, what about you?
I had a lot of action in my corporate life, but I think after being responsible for P&Ls for 25 years, I thought I should just now start getting responsible for people and make difference in their life.
Wow, fantastic. So, women can kind of redefine their careers or success because, we got so used to defining success as doing very well in a set career. You are both examples of people who have left that I will say a beaten track in a sense and moved to completely new pastures, right?
And it's not easy, at least for me. I'm just into it for 2 months. So it's completely getting out of your comfort zone and rediscovering yourself absolutely.
And loving it. Thank you.
I thought we should leave this in an inspiring note. So it's a very spontaneous shoot, actually. So yeah. So any questions? I'd be happy to take them.
So thank you indeed, Gauri ma'am. आपने तो इतना बढ़िया समराइज भी कर दिया कि हमें कुछ आगे बोलने के लिए छोड़ा ही नहीं. आपने वीडियो दे करके बिल्कुल क्लियर कर दिया. It is very crystal clear to all the youngsters. I think they should draw a lot of lesson from her communication. And मुझे तो लगता है कि जो अर्धनारीश्वर की बात हुई है, there is no reason that they are, I mean, of course, men and women, they are different. They have, their drivers are different, but both are required for the Srishti. Both are required for the society, for the growth, for Atmanirbharta. So very beautifully said that we don't have to compete, we have to support and uptail each other. Wonderful. Any questions? Please go ahead.
So maybe if the panel agrees, maybe we can take on the questions later on, or maybe we can submit it to you, because we are, in the interest of time, I think we must keep things going right now, if that's okay with everyone. Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed, Gauri ma'am. Thank you. So moving to our next speaker, Dr. Somini Sunkara. She is already with us, and before I invite her to speak, let me just say a few words about her. Dr. Somini Sunkara is an agri-professional with PhD in biotechnology. She has been associated with research and development in genetic engineering, molecular biology, and plant tissue culture. She has been also closely working with management of various national and international projects related to rural and agri-livelihoods, agri-value chains, farmer-producer organizations, FPOs, entrepreneurship, and seed sectors. She is founding managing director, Agrigar Services Private Limited, and currently working as National Project Coordinator at bilateral project Indo-German Cooperation on Seed Development. Dr. Somini is co-founder in Women Energy Association of Incubators in Manufacturing. She is chairperson and founding director of Gram Bharati Natural Farmers Producer Company Limited. She is an experienced rural development professional, trainer, and trained thousands of aspiring entrepreneurs, farmers, SHG women, and agriculture students on agripreneurship, rural livelihood, agri-value chains, farmer-producer organizations, and so on. Now she is on a mission to train more than 1 lakh rural livelihoods. We look forward to her enriching guidance to our young professionals so that you can achieve your 1 lakh training target faster. Dr. Somini Sunkara, over to you, Dr. Somini Sunkara.
Thank you, Ravindraji, for giving me this opportunity. I think most of the points were covered by my 3 earlier speakers, Dr. Leena, Gauri, and Padmaja. It's my immense pleasure to be here to address on women entrepreneurship on a Women Entrepreneurship Day. I congratulate all the existing women entrepreneurs and also aspiring entrepreneurs that this journey is little hectic for them. As Gauri said, we have to compete with the other gender, but not less. No comparison should be there. So yeah, most of the speakers have laid made my, in fact, presentation very easily. So I'll not take much time. I think we have hardly 12 minutes, or can I know how much time I can take?
Please go ahead, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
If there is any time restriction, then I have to.
No. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So before going ahead with the topic given to me is like traits of successful women entrepreneurs. So I always feel a little inconvenient when the women entrepreneurship is considered as a separate journey. But like any entrepreneur, we also face the same kind of hurdles, same kind of targets, same kind of what should I say, challenges for any as an entrepreneur. And there's a lot more to be achieved in the form of to be considered as a woman entrepreneur. In fact, I've not attended the first two speakers, but as Gauri said, there's a lot more journeys there, and what she has clearly defined is like the age factor where the woman entrepreneurships really arise is like the moment she gets some financial independence, or she feels that, okay, now I can venture. That is what is really striking hard for the journey of women entrepreneurs. In fact, we start a little late. We go with our passion. We do handle work-life balance. We put our idea into thought, do some pilot studies, plan, work, and then execute. So it takes little kind of a struggle when we are taking ahead into form of an entrepreneurship journey, but it's not different when you see that there are various factors when you consider, like leadership is one quality where you have to be really tough, because for me it's like doing a job is more easier than teaching a job to someone else and getting it done. This is the biggest challenge for me, because leadership is not that comes by default. It has to be evolved through your experiences. And it's not only innovation that helps, but how innovatively you consider that idea to be implemented is what the knowledge, how you gain from that experience is what takes your vision ahead. So the venture capitalists or angel investors, it might be a long achievement for us, but it's nothing like we can't achieve. Or yesterday I was hearing to someone else being an angel investor at a very young age. I was very motivated by her itself. So these are the kind of qualities where we have challenges, in fact, to go ahead in our entrepreneurship, but that doesn't mean that we also have equal amount of risk in our initiatives, and also take a management a kind of a challenging area where we treat our entrepreneurship as an opportunity, as a second career. But here, what are the, if you consider what functions do we do as a woman entrepreneur? As I mentioned, like leadership is the biggest quality which do, and it's not only directing other people or directing your subordinates, but also training them in an organized way, planning things, coordinating with them, and making a supervision and motivating them. The motivation is the key point when you're dealing with entrepreneurship, where you see you yourself being demotivated many times due to the challenges what you are facing day to day. But you should not show that more demotivated spirit to your subordinates or staff or your co-working leaders. So this is again a big factor where we have to keep motivated ourselves, and we also have to motivate the entire staff, and we need to achieve our entrepreneurship journey in a very positive form, and we have to be ourselves energetic, which is a great challenge. Being a woman, being a mother, being a wife, being a daughter is, again, we do have kind of responsibilities. We come with a package. In fact, a woman entrepreneurship is an extra activity what we'll be doing apart from managing all these stuff. I don't say that men entrepreneurs or the other gender don't face it, but the kind of responsibility what we take it's an ownership what we carry forward, and balancing it out in both scales in equal scale is quite a challenging task, and we have to be on the task based kind of arrangements what we needs to be, and we have to see whatever targets what we are picking as, whether our challenges, whatever challenges we face, but it should be like relatively resulting in positive attributes. So again, self-sufficiency, maybe in terms of finances or kind of any kind of self-sufficiency is as important as for any entrepreneurial journey to be succeeded. And many a times we feel like restless. In fact, I should say, because you tend to balance too many things, and our persistence is what we need to take it forward, taking all other parameters into consideration. So the qualities for a successful entrepreneur, these are listed on the slide, but that doesn't mean that these are the qualities, but it's a confidence of where you take what you want to do, what's the passion you're taking out, and how much you want to attain. There is no hard fast rule that you have to go to angel investors, you have to go to venture capitalists and then say you are into a successful entrepreneur. No, there is no hard fast rule. There is no line drawn there that this is the parameter which makes you successful. If you are feeling content, if you are satisfied with whatever you're doing, if you are doing some impact, because each one's passion is different. Because as Gauri said, that is like we do carry. It's not the money what we usually take into consideration, but also on the impact we work on, where we feel like more other factors are being impacted and people are getting benefited. This is the kind of activities what usually a woman entrepreneur will like to do, and rather than being a target based on numbers and this one, we usually tend to go for the impact entrepreneurship, where we intend to work at a different scale. As I earlier said, motivation is the most important factor, because you try to pull out of your bed not only to do the household activities, but also to finish it off on time so that you can come back onto your regular job. See, I don't see that doing a job is different or doing an entrepreneurship journey is different. But when you are an entrepreneur, you have to pull 10 to 15 or hundreds of other paid employees under you. So you have to work on a different scale, where you pull on extra energies, you motivate yourself to not only sustain yourself, not only to be active in your position, but also you have to be presentative among the others, and then you have to really work on your capabilities. So ability to network is one positive factor. What I should say is like women are good in family management by basic genetic what should I say quality is like you take care of the family no matter what it is there. So your entrepreneurship is nothing new, that you have to take care of your entire stuff. Usually the more sustainable or more usually most of the corporates say that there should be a woman on board just to manage the entire structure. So women member having in the board is going to be being a credit factor for most of the corporates too. They have made it mandatory that there should be higher officials in the board, kind of the management committees, and it's the basic quality which comes up with our genetic by birth, in fact. And your risk-taking capability is, I should say, it will be under low only because of I don't know whether I'm quoting it aptly or not, but women take risk more than what they are seen to. In fact, we take risk of our personal lives at a cost, because they will go on to a kind of a slide when you are concentrating on the entrepreneurship journey, or when you're even going professionally also. But see, there are different characters which you evolve through your journey. It's not like you have to learn it, or when you have decided to be an entrepreneur, these comes as like a package to you, and you evolve through you. And you will feel happy that what you have been in the last 5 years or 10 years, and where you have reached, you pat yourself and say, okay, I did not expect this. In fact, truly saying, if you see my entrepreneurship journey, or even if it was like I was totally a good student, topping in all universities and having whatever I want to learn, doing my PhD in the best of the science and transgenics, and everything was going good. I don't know when myself I've decided not to go for a government job or any kind of a stable job or any kind of a stagnant job. There itself, I realized that, oh, I'm not fit for this. I don't know why I didn't like. I don't know why I decided myself that I don't fit to that category. Then I choose my entrepreneurship. There, my journey has started, and this is called as a turning point to your realization, when you feel yourself that okay, this is not fit to me. And yeah, education is compulsory. Whatever you feel like, you have to be educated in whatever, but there is no hard fast rule. I had many apprehensions saying that I'm not a management graduate, I'm not a management like a professional. Then I had many apprehensions saying that maybe I will not be good in finances, maybe I'll not good in the management of people and all this. No, nothing is that. So you just evolve across your journey and you will learn. There's nothing called, maybe your management graduation will teach you in 2 years on specific terms, but what you learn through experience, what you come through, what are the learnings you get from the challenges you have faced are completely different. And you're forced to learn, in fact, because you have to survive yourself. You have to make yourself sustain, and then take in the form of you have to adapt to the society. You have to adapt to the entrepreneurs network, and so this is how you challenge yourself every day. And you can say that every day you're exploring a new quality out of yourself, and you say, till date, even today also, I feel happy when if I learn a small kind of activity too, making in a presentation, pitching yourself, or strategizing a new stuff. I feel every day I'm learning new things. That keeps me excited always. And it's always good to be expressing your thoughts into your family, into your friends, into your staff. Also, I feel like I keep myself every time open, so that I don't know, I may get ideas from the other side of the table, and that may change my entire perspective of doing things. So this helps you, keeping you in always in a good shape. And I feel that that's what, there's no rule that this should be the quality of an entrepreneur. So you invent yourself, you make, you are a visionary. Obviously, when you have chosen to be an entrepreneur, you are a visionary because you work on a particular idea innovatively, making it more effective than others, and making it in the form of a presentable way. And you also think on creating a bigger picture, working, maybe it is a smaller idea, but it is having a bigger picture when you are speaking to any other person. But you feel like whenever you're speaking to other person in a very confident way, then you feel like, oh, I have evolved from day 1 to day 10 now. So this is what is the journey of this an entrepreneur. Then once you have started an entrepreneur is like I always it's like a marriage without a divorce. This is what keeps me like, yeah, any relationship can break, but entrepreneurship is like it's marriage without divorce. You have chosen it, your passion has chosen it, and you will try your best to make it possible. Successful is different, but you might have kept some timelines or targets. You might have missed some, but you might have achieved many more things which you didn't think in the journey. So this is how this is like a parallel system which works into your entrepreneur journey. And these are quite a few traits of successful women entrepreneur, where you have set goals, but you are focused on, always be focused on your next step. And as I said, work and family balance is the key thing which we need to always take care. We should not ignore anything. Neither your work, neither your family, both are important, and you have to make a balance about it. And if you are working with an integrity, and if you are working with some passion, and if you are strong minded, and you are by default, you will overcome all the obstacles, and you will be a successful entrepreneur. I'll take only a few minutes to also brief about my entrepreneurial journey, where I've started my journey like immediately after resigning my first job. I said, let me not, I felt myself that I'm not fit for any kind of a role because my ideas to be implemented cannot be others' ideas, or cannot be like imposed on others' minds to be implemented. Then it's only the entrepreneurship journey where we design our own strategies, our own activities based to fulfill our passion. And this is how my entrepreneurship journey started. Though it's like I've started the idea of floating aggregator was a different scale, but when I had an opportunity to join my other team members in ABY Farmers, I joined as a designated partner there, where it is a social marketing platform for farmers and farming organizations. And then I registered a proprietorship firm for procuring land from the industrial area. And then when there was an opportunity given to join a women association, I also joined there in 2018, where VM is the entity which we are working on, Association of Women Entrepreneurs to nurture, incubate, and support other women enterprises. And we are more concentrated on manufacturing sector here. And with the initial intention of starting Agrighar is like home for all the agriculture sectors. This is what which drives me every day, and I always intend to think whatever I'm working, the company name drives me in such a form that, okay, how can I implement in my organization? How can I create a greater impact in my organization? This is all drives through. And this Aggregator Services Private Limited is designed to foster and promote rural entrepreneurships through skill development and entrepreneurship development programs. We will be concentrating mostly in agriculture and allied sectors, whereas we promote women entrepreneurs in all sectors, no matter what is there, but we facilitate to give a supportive system there. And again, when there is a need, when there is a purpose, I keep entering into or starting new organizations like Ramavati National Farmers Producer Company, where it's a unique initiative to facilitate marketing and certification and other agri-valuation activities to all national farmers across. And even in 2022, after the pandemic, we felt like, okay, we have an association now, we have products, we have kind of farmers network, we have women network. Then now we are we are coming up with an exclusive platform to promote women entrepreneurs products on and making them to reach to global level. In a short, I just want to brief about relative organizations of this women entrepreneurship, where we promote women entrepreneurship. I didn't mention about the other stuff is just because they are not into entrepreneurship development. So women, I kept VM first because it's a women entrepreneurship supporting system platform where we support existing and aspiring women entrepreneurs. It's first of its kind of association of incubators for women manufacturers, which is registered in 2018 with an objective to reach, collaborate, facilitate, and accelerate women-run businesses. VM works with experts, industry stalwarts from 10+ industrial fields, and where we help the existing women entrepreneurs, take them as leaders, and then we nurture the aspiring entrepreneurs. So we are developing a network of women entrepreneurs there in that, and we intend to incubate 100 women-driven manufacturing setups and supporting 25 scale-ups. And Aggregator Services, it's mostly on the rural livelihoods and generation, with skill development and entrepreneurship development as major segment, but we confine here in agri and allied sectors because we feel that most of the rural economy is dependent on agriculture, and a lot of potential of manpower is available there, which is unused, and they are not showcased with the opportunities what are available. So we are intending to start like an incubation model where we start this one platform kind of stuff where we provide end-to-end services, where we do not only train the capacity, the trainings on the aspiring entrepreneurs, but also we provide them with a documentation support, or even in the DPR formation or any kind of providing loans. We do facilitate. We are connected with bankers. We are connected with different mentorship institutes where we facilitate this kind of whenever there is a need, depending on the requirement of an incubator, we try to provide that support. And even after that, we would intend to give post-business support also to create a marketing this one. So we have our competitive advantages when you compare to the other EDP providing industries is like the major advantage is like we are integrated. We have like I should say integrated training and manufacturing center will be our USP, where we have we provide the skill training based. It's like we have combined skill development and entrepreneurship in such a good package where we say entrepreneurship is not a theoretical class, but also they should have a practical experience. So we provide, since as a manufacturing unit, we'll be converting into an incubation center where we say, okay, the entrepreneurs, if you are willing to set up an industry, just come and learn on our machinery, and then once you get convinced and then go back. So when you go back, you will be facing all the issues of how to start a enterprise. Then we consider you as an incubator, and we say, okay, this is what support system what we have. And as on date, we have a incubation center. We are almost will be launching in a month or two, and we'll be having all the mini food processing units at the incubation center, where we intend to even promote in the big scale, where we say the farmer may produce whatever agricultural commodity. We will have a primary and secondary processing machinery at our unit, and he can come and get his product manufactured. So here we don't not only give them training on how to organize a enterprise or how to manage a machinery, but also we give them as a first level of, I should say, pilot study to establish their markets. In fact, they might not be convinced to start an enterprise without seeing the business. So we say, whatever produce you're producing, just get it manufactured. So we provide manufacturing as a service as another USP what we will be doing, where we say that, okay, per this amount of produce, we charge this, and you can take back and build up your brand, then come back to us and then take the support of enterprise. So this is the holistic platform what we are intending to. And if the farmer is growing paddy, he can access the paddy unit. If he's going a dal or any kind of red gram or urad or any dals, they can access the dal unit. If they're growing millets, they can access the millet processing unit. If they're growing for any oil seeds like sunflower, groundnut, or any other they can access the full press oils. And if they're growing for fruits and vegetables, then we have a solar cold storage, which can also have a particular level of value addition, and also hybrid dehydrated, where we can process the material and increase the shelf life. So we run an incubation program, where we are just confining at the initial level. Maybe stage 1, we'll be confining with these 3 units, because those units are available with us. And maybe in the second phase, then we will go with scaling up of our own business to go to next level. So this is the incubation program, what I was mentioning, that any entrepreneur, if he or she is willing to enter into agri and allied sectors, you are welcome, and you can start your journey.
Agriculture is not profitable since farmers and farmer producer organizations, FPOs, are concentrating only in production activities and selling their produce at lowest level of agriculture value chain. Rural youth migrate to urban areas in search of employment and live a hectic life for not getting their satisfied level of jobs. SHG women are taking loans from past 20 plus years, and they are only concentrating on credit and thrift mode of operations, but their livelihoods are not much improved. Solution for all these problems can be achieved through establishment of mini food processing units and transferring the benefit gained from these value addition services to the farming community. Agriga aims to be an one-stop, unique, holistic, entrepreneurial ecosystem model of integrated training and manufacturing unit, where the trainees comprising of youth, farmers, women, and FPOs will be provided with a platform of rural entrepreneurial opportunities, which is a combination of hands-on training, supplement with required business development mentoring and hand-holding support, thereby helping them equip themselves with all the required skill and knowledge to initiate their own small-scale Agriga business units.
This is a short video where we intend to do as like a promotional video of our concept. And we also have another program where we do a similar kind of a program, but this is a kind of training and incubation services exclusively for the FPOs, because they are like a group of farmers. FPOs, if anyone is not aware of, FPO is a farmer producer organizations, where a group of farmers come together on a common platform, and they do kind of activities which are related to food business. So we thought, why not we nurture them also in the form of, because many possibilities are there with them, like a unit which I'm establishing under aggregate can be established similarly by an FPO, and they have all the produce there by within their area, and they can as well do business about this. And our passion is always like investments in agriculture are the best weapons against hunger and poverty. We do address most of the sustainable development goals through operating with this. And agriculture believes that every human being needs safe and hygienic food to live. Hence, working towards sustainable agriculture will be a lucrative career option, while processing of agri-commodities have a high market and huge business opportunity. I would like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, women entrepreneurs, they are no different from any entrepreneur. So it's as good as any entrepreneur have to succeed. And we usually are driven by our passion that only kicks us up every day to move forward. And I look forward more of women entrepreneurs, or more of entrepreneurs, in fact, come forward in this agri and allied sectors, and also do some impact entrepreneurship in future. Thank you all for listening to me patiently. I hope I have crossed my limit what is given then. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Samani Sunkaraji. You have given wonderful insight about the entire perspective of women entrepreneurship, I would say. And with this talk, in fact, we are convinced that women are excellent in finance, they are excellent in interpersonal relationship, they are excellent in optimization, they are optimistic, they are adaptive, and then they are good at networking. So what else is required for successful business? So probably it proves that they are better entrepreneurs than men. It's a challenge for men, I would say. So anyway, wonderful, Dr. Somani, and I think that if there are any questions, they can be put in the chat box, and we can take up later because time has exceeded. Once again, we thank you very much. And now I would like to invite Dr. Vrishti Mitra. She is head of the University Institute of Engineering Technology of CSJMU. That is the engineering department of Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University. She is institute from here. And may I request Dr. Vrishti Mitra ji to propose vote of thanks to the speakers and the participants today. Over to you, Dr. Vrishti Mitra.
Thank you, Dubey ji. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
It's my honor and privilege to be a part of this webinar where we celebrated Women Entrepreneurship Day, and we looked at the current scenario and the challenges faced by the women entrepreneurs. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience today. I enjoyed all 4 of the talks. And on behalf of CSJM University, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the distinguished speakers of today's celebration. We've had the privilege of listening to 4 amazing and successful women who have shared their stories, their views with us today. I thank Ms. Padmaja Ruparel, co-founder of IAN. It was wonderful that, ma'am, you're encouraging and supporting all the startups, especially ones led by women from all strata of society. You said you started off with the tier 1 cities, and now you've moved on to the villages, etc. Thank you, ma'am. I take this occasion to thank Dr. Leena Bavadekar, National Secretary of Shakti. Thank you, ma'am, for emphasizing all the qualities that are inherent in a woman as homemakers, as home managers, that make them good and entrepreneurs. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Gauri Sareen, it was a wonderful, really wonderful listening to you, where you gave us this amazing thought of growing with flow and not necessarily structure. And the fact that you told us that the women usually have an objective, a larger objective to do good rather than just make money. It is not about the passion more than just being successful in the conventional terms as we see. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to thank Dr. Somani Sankara. Ma'am, I just listened to you talking about the traits and functions of entrepreneurs, even though you gave a very structured one and you said that ultimately all of this does not matter. Passion is what matters. You should be happy doing what you are doing, and that's what it is. Thank you very much, ma'am. I extend my heartfelt appreciation for the organizing team from the CSJMU Innovation Foundation and the Innovation and Entrepreneurial Cell of CSJMU for making efforts to recognize and celebrate this day. Thank you, Dr. Shilpa Kayastha, Shri Ravindra Dubey ji, Mr. Utkarsh Bisaria ji, Mr. Anil Tripathi ji, and all the others from the CSJMU Innovation Foundation. I would also like to thank the authorities of CSJM University, the faculty members from this university and all the other institutions, members of startups who joined us, and students who were a part of this celebration today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you indeed, Dr. Mr. Mitraji, for presenting the vote of thanks. Thank you, everybody. So by this, we close this conference today. Utkarsh, over to you.
Right. Thank you all. So now I'm closing the meeting. May you have a great day ahead. Happy Women Entrepreneurship Day to all. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We really enjoyed
Thank
and
you.
probably we'll have to change our belief, that women are better.
Okay. And Utkarsh, thank you so much for your support.
Really, I tell you, we have to change our strategy. In fact, in the innovation cell also, they should not feel, anyway lower than the boys or gents, who are the entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs.
Well, I must thank, because, today I must give all the credit to all the men who went out of their way to organize such a wonderful panel of
Agreed.
entrepreneurs for us. I'd like to thank CEO sir and the entire team for putting on this wonderful webinar together. Thank you so much for being
Thank you so much, ma'am.
ये जो फ्लो का कॉन्सेप्ट दिया ना मैडम ने, वो फ्लो आपने शुरू किया था शिल्पा जी.
Really, very generous of you.
आपने शुरू किया था फ्लो, तभी तो दोनों प्रोग्राम हुए अच्छी तरीके से.